Studio 33 AD, Catholic Media.
My dearly beloved brothers and sisters in the faith, there was a young Roman pagan. This was back in the later part of the 4th century. And this young pagan, despite the never-ending prayers of his Christian mother, was leading a sinful and godless life. He liked parties and social gatherings, and eventually he fathered a child outside of marriage. He caused a lot of sufferings to his mother, who constantly and relentlessly prayed for him to God, so that God may touch the heart of her son and make him a Christian. One sunny day, this young man was sitting in a garden fighting with himself and reflecting on his life. And then he started to pray. And all of a sudden he heard the voice of a young child chanting, "Take and read." Immediately the young man opened the Bible and read these words: "Let us then throw off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. Let us conduct ourselves properly as in a day, not in orgies and drunkenness, not in promiscuity and lust, not in rivalry and jealousy." The young Roman was moved. He put down the holy book. He realized that it was God himself who spoke to him through these words. The time for a serious decision has come for him. He decided to get baptized and change his life. His name was Augustine. Later, this man became a priest, then bishop, and then one of the most prominent theologians and doctors of the Church, Saint Augustine of Hippo. The story that I just told you comes from his book Confessions, one of the greatest spiritual classics ever written. In the later part of the book, Saint Augustine, reflecting on his life, uttered these words. These were the words of complaint. "Late have I loved you." He was saying about his life that he should have recognized the presence of God in his life much earlier. "Late have I loved you." We just heard the same words of St. Paul that Augustine read in the garden in the second reading today. Challenging words for us. Words that call us to make a decision to reject sinful behavior and to put on Jesus Christ. It is the hour now for you to awake from sleep. It is the now that counts. The time has come to make a decision. Today we begin the new liturgical year, so I want to wish you a happy new year of grace. First Sunday of Advent, we begin again. God has given us this wonderful grace to start another year to be in relationship with Him. Today the readings do not focus on preparation for Christmas, but rather on the second coming of Jesus at the end times. We call it the parousia, the second coming of the Lord at the end of time. Now many of us have heard that phrase, the end of time, and it seems to be so far away, sometime in the distant future. We do not feel the urgency. We think that we still have time to prepare. No hurry, no panic. We have time. The attitude of many peoples is procrastination in regard to spiritual life. I know that I need to change something, but let's work on that tomorrow. I should probably reconcile with my neighbor, but let's wait, not too quickly. I really should go to confession, but not this Saturday, I'm too busy. And since I am not in the state of grace anyway, I may want to commit the same sin on Sunday. I will go on Wednesday, or in a week, or in a month. I should call my mom, who is in the nursing home. Maybe I'll call her this week, and I never do. And we stay in the state of sin for weeks, months, perhaps years, endangering our eternal salvation. We ignore what Jesus said. What good it would be for a man to conquer the entire world and to lose his soul. Because it is only now that counts. And this is what the readings want to tell us today. There may not be tomorrow. The now is the gift from the Lord. The Gospel speaks of that clearly. The Son of Man comes unexpectedly. It may be a surprise for many who are asleep. And I am thinking that this is a very important question to ponder in the light of the readings. It is at all possible that you or I may be asleep. Is it possible that we can be asleep? This is the example that came to my mind. Think of Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 disciples. Judas was in the presence of Jesus 24/7, and Judas saw the miracles that Jesus performed. He listened to the best homilies, and yet he allowed himself to fall asleep, and it was a deadly kind of sleep. So this is the thing. We can be members of the best parish, listen to the best sermons, read the best spiritual books, attend the best Bible studies, and still be asleep. That's why the readings are so powerful. They call us to wake up. And we are blessed by God again that He has allowed us to have one more chance to hear His call. The time is the most precious commodity we have, the most precious asset that we possess. But the readings are clear. Our time is valuable and our time is short. Did you pay attention to the gospel? You may have been wondering why Jesus would use the example of Noah and the flood from the book of Genesis. I was thinking about that example. Now you know that Noah received the call from God to build an ark. And you can imagine Noah is building an ark. He is gathering wood, constructing the ark, and he's doing it far away from the sea or water. And people looking at him, they said, he must be out of his mind. What is he doing, building an ark? He must be crazy. And the most interesting thing for me about this attitude of the people around Noah is he's taking care of the spiritual life, because that ark is a symbol of relationship, of spiritual life with God. And if you read the story of the flood, this is what it's really interesting. Finally, Noah finished the ark. He's ready to go in and to lock the doors. So he goes into the ark with all these animals, and the doors are shut. Now remember, God told him the rain was going to come, right? Do you know how much time it took from the time that Noah entered the ark for the rain to start? 7 days. So imagine Noah in the ark. He probably hears people laughing on the outside. Noah had to wait 7 days for the rain to start. It's that again, I think I wonder if God maybe had given a chance to the people, hey, Maybe you can knock at the door of the ark and Noah is gonna open and let you in. That's your last chance. You know, the Bible is very clear that God is merciful. God gives us many chances, but those chances are not unlimited. Jesus ends the parable or his sayings today, so you too must be prepared, for at an hour you do not expect the Son of Man will come. They did not know, the people around the ark, until the flood came and carried them all away. So Jesus in his mercy is trying to wake us up. He's trying to tell us that the time is the most precious commodity that we have. The Lord is giving us time, but that time will end. It is not unlimited, and in fact, it may end for us very unexpectedly. We do not know the time or the hour. So let us heed the words of St. Paul today from the second reading. Let us awake from our sleep and welcome the Lord, because it is now that He knocks at the door of my heart and your heart. He wants to enter our lives.
Studio 33 AD, Catholic Media.